We turn straight off to Jeff Zeleny of the New York Times, White House reporter for the Times. And Jeff, let's start with healthcare. This obviously is the big issue here. Is there anything left, and we put this question out to our Twitter followers, is there anything left that President Obama can say to Democrats that hasn't been said before to get them on board in this final push?
I think one thing he could say, and this is kind of sensitive, you may lose anyway, so why not vote for it? I think there's a collection of people, there are a collection of House members who are in very imperiled districts, and their chances aren't that great. So why not vote for it? If it comes to pass 6 months from now that people aren't as alarmed about it, it might turn out to be good politics. We don't exactly know in the months leading up to November, when people actually start paying attention to these races, what the politics will be. So I think that's one thing. Other things, the members who are retiring, give one for the team here, guys. It's not a bad thing in terms of a legacy building. So those are a couple things.
My observation of this president, you have observed him far more closely than I have, sort of arm-twisting deal-making is not necessarily in his wheelhouse to sit down and do that one-on-one thing the way we envision Reagan was able to do, or George W. Bush or Bill Clinton. Is this something he's going to be comfortable doing, wringing these votes out one by one?
I'm not sure if it's his job necessarily to wring the House votes out one by one. I think that's much more Speaker Pelosi's job. I suppose a phone call from the president, if viewed as necessary, would hurt. But I think he's much better in these one-on-one situations than we think. I believe he plays the role of a good cop. Others play the role of bad cop. So, but we'll see how good he is if they get 217. That's the magic number.
Yeah, that's what it's all going to be about that. The question that gets raised this week, this is a terrible week for Democrats. I think anyone can agree. There's just an avalanche of bad news. But you go back to what Nancy Pelosi said in 2006, draining the swamp, almost honest and ethical. It just seems like we're back in that kind of climate. When you see this story after story, is this a real problem for Democrats? You think, oh, this is early enough, they can get this off the radar before November?
I think it's the beginning of a potential real problem for Democrats. Democrats were making the argument to me yesterday that, look, Congressman Rangel, Charlie Rangel, is not as well known. I could hardly think of his name. He's not as well known as Tom DeLay. No one knows him. But look at the members of Congress, the Democrats around the country, who rushed quickly to give their money back immediately after the Republican Congressional Campaign Committee said they should. Some 30 members were giving back some $400,000. This is resonating in districts out there because it's a local story. Every one of these cases is a local story. Is it as bad as 06 at this point? No, I don't think it is. It's certainly better for them now than the Mark Foley scandal happened in October, some 1 month before the election. It's different, but the building blocks are there for a problem.
No doubt about that. Jeff, in our final few seconds here, the Oscars are on Sunday, and so we are putting our Oscar predictions on the table. Who do you want to win Best Picture?
I think Up in the Air should win Best Picture. We spent a lot of time on airplanes. Why not Up in the Air?
I like
my favorite
that.
movie of the year as well.
Is that your pick for Oscars?
It's not my pick for Oscar. I think Avatar may pull it out.
Hurt Locker. No, I'd be shocked if it didn't win. I think they need to vote for it. There's a lot of reasons, but it's a great
Up in
film.
the Air, Avatar, Hurt Locker.
On the record.
We will check it in on Monday. Jeff Zeleny of the New York Times, thank you very much for being here. Please tune in to this Sunday. Matthew Dowd is our guest anchor this Sunday, and his guests are HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius and the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Healthcare will be topic number 1.
For a change.
For a change, seriously. It's Groundhog's Day. That'll do it for this week's Top Line. Be sure to click us again on Monday.
Twitter.com/TheNote. Thanks a lot.